Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Two for One Hoops channel. I'm Nate here with Danny and Dion today. Unfortunately, Mitch is off doing some other activity, so he's not going to be able to join us. But we're
You're
8 days
celebrating
out.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that's a holiday.
Yeah.
I'm
That's a
not
Shout out to
thing.
Mitch.
Canadian,
Shout out to
so
Mitch.
basically, we're going to be going through all the NBA teams. We're talking about League Pass, the best and least watchable teams, or the most and least watchable teams. We're going to be going through and ranking it on a scale of favorite teams to know. To know you should not watch this team ever. Like there are so many better things you can be doing with your life. You may have an idea of who those teams may be already, but let's waste no time. Let's get into it first with the Atlanta Hawks. Initial thoughts, nothing else on. I don't think that they're that bad, but Trae Young will give you some fun nights. Maybe Zakari will surprise some people. Clint Capella, I'm not too overly hyped to watch.
Yeah, I would say nothing else on. They're like they got a couple interesting things, but like overall, they're not a very exciting
Danny,
team.
are
I'm
we in,
not
are we
all
in
excited
agreement,
about them.
Danny?
Yeah, we're all in agreement. I'd say they're nothing else on or hard to watch, but
All right.
I'll,
Well,
I'll agree with you guys on this
this
one.
one's an easy one. This is Dion's favorite team, so we're just gonna put that in the favorite team tier.
Sick.
Obviously, we're gonna be watching all the games from our favorite teams. That's pretty much a no-brainer. And then on the other side of the spectrum, let's just that
No,
needs no explanation
I'd
whatsoever.
rather watch paint dry.
I
I
would
don't think
say
anyone's taking.
I would argue hard to watch just because there are at least like a couple things I'm interested in. Like I am interested to see the two first rounders had last year. They played like 25 games
Okay,
combined, so I
Noah
want to see if they
Clowney and
play.
Jalen Wilson, I actually do like, but I don't think anyone is tuning in to go and watch them.
Yeah, no, I can't
I
argue with
don't know
that.
who else is going to be in Noah if we don't put the Nets down there. I'm not going to
That's fair.
lie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The Hornets, this could be a sneaky fun team. I think me and Dion are both a little high on them
Yes.
this season. I think maybe nothing. I'm borderline on most nights.
That's where I'm
Where
at too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on how their season starts because like for the first 2 weeks I'm very interested, getting to see LaMelo and Brandon Miller play a little bit more together. But it's very realistic that midway through the season it's just gonna be a nothing else on kind of team.
and Lamelo
So for
will
the
be
start of the season,
injured.
I would lean most nights, but I don't know how
You
you guys
just
feel.
hope everyone stays healthy.
Exactly.
Let's
That's what
leave it
it
at
is.
most nights and we'll
Yeah, we'll
revisit
be
it if.
optimistic. Yeah. I like that.
So the Bulls, they're going to be another like nothing else on team. Like it's a.
I got them in the same boat kind of as the Hornets because like with the Giddy experiment, what's Zach LaVine gonna look like? Buzelis, I'm very interested in. I think another team that like halfway through the season I might just not really care about, but start of the season I'm feeling optimistic. The season is eight
All
days
right,
away.
we'll have
I'm
Danny
feeling
be the
good.
tiebreaker then.
I would say nothing else on.
All
I,
right.
I
Yeah.
don't
The
have
style of play, I mean, I
high
hope that they
interest in
start
the
to play with
Bulls
some
this year.
pace, but like the Bulls style
I
of play
think
is not all
mainly
that.
where it
They
stems
definitely
from
have some
from
exciting players that I would tune in
Yeah.
to watch, but
I'll agree with that. The thing is, I'm not. I just have zero motivation to watch another season of Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. Like that's
That's totally
really
no,
fair. I can't argue with that. Yeah.
that's
All right.
yeah.
Middle tier's fine. Yeah.
so. The Cavs, I feel like they're a most nights team. Like they're
Yeah,
good.
I
They're
think
not the
most of
most
like most of
exciting.
the good teams, I think you're going to be at least in like the most nights
Yeah.
tier of the like the really good teams. The Cavs aren't all that interesting. They're running back the same roster from last year
Yeah,
just with a new coach,
but I feel like
but they're a
Donovan
good
Mitchell
team.
gives
They're
something
fun
to
to watch. Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mavericks, they're
I say
I
must
think
see
I think
TV.
for
Luka
sure.
Doncic is
Yeah,
must
Luca
see
is must see
TV.
TV. Exactly.
Same
Yeah,
with
they're
Nuggets too. I feel like Luka
Yeah.
and Jokic almost
yes,
single-handedly make their teams must see.
absolutely. Pistons are interesting.
Detroit.
I mean, my
Pistons.
instincts is hard to watch, but they have the potential to move up to the nothing else on tier
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I
because
think
I think
like.
the shooting is gonna be what makes it hard to watch.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
offense is not going to be good. Yeah, that's fair. Even though I am intrigued to see if they could be a little bit better, it will be a hard watch, even if I'm interested. So that's fair.
All right,
It'll just be
Warriors.
interesting to see how the young talent plays together.
Now
It's weird.
the Warriors is an interesting one because most years they are must see TV. Is
hmm
Steph Curry still at the point where he's making them must see TV? I would say yes.
My
I
vote
would
is yes.
definitely lean with yes. So
Yeah,
I think
he's still in that like Jokic Luka tier to me of like
yeah.
I want to see him. You never know what you might see.
Danny, we in agreement there?
Yeah, I suppose. I would have put them in most nights just because I feel like they're just not even close to as entertaining as they used to be.
No, yeah,
But
that
having
I can.
but like the magnitude of Steph is just like Steph is must see TV in general. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Rockets. This is for me easily most nights because I
I got
think
him in most
Şengün. I
nights.
think they have the potential to move into must see TV. Like genuinely, I think they're going to be one of the most exciting young teams in the league. Again, I love me some Alpi. You guys know how much I love that man. I'm
Agreed.
going to go most nights. If anyone has any quarrels, speak now or forever hold your peace.
All good.
Indiana, actually another pretty fun team. I don't personally want to watch them ever again because of what happened last season.
That's fair.
But I'd still tend to lean to the most nights because they're
Most
a super
nights.
high octane offense. They're a running gun team. And when Tyrese Halliburton isn't playing like a Chinese Basketball Association player, he's a really fun player to watch.
I would argue honestly, maybe even must see TV. Their offense is going to be so much fun. If you like defense, this is not the team to tune into,
Yeah.
but I would border between most nights and must see.
Well, let's leave him in the most
Uh,
nights tier with
yeah, I'd say
potential
most
to
nights.
go up because yeah, I think Danny and me are leaning towards that. Clippers
Hard
on
watch.
literally
Hard to
unless
watch
Kawhi
there.
is
Yeah.
playing, they're going to be really hard to watch, and
Yeah.
we can count on Kawhi to miss at least 20 games. He finally
Mhm.
had a decent games threshold last year, so
I would say I think the Lakers are another hard watch for me. For one, just the fact that they're going to be on like half of their games are going to be national TV. It's always going to be the Lakers. I feel like you see them at least once a week, which kind of gets old. And LeBron's cool, AD's cool, but like they're not that fun to watch to me. I could put
yeah,
them
I
in
feel
nothing
like
else on, but
yeah,
Wait, I have a question though. If we're still living on the principle of we put the Warriors in must-see TV because Steph Curry's must-see TV, are LeBron and Anthony
I
Davis
just
not must-see TV?
I don't think
no.
LeBron and AD are must see
Or
TV anymore.
closer than hard to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
why I think honestly I would tend to lead like I feel like casual fan is definitely going to say most nights. For me,
Yeah.
I think for us, it's a nothing else on type of thing unless Danny is wetting his jorts to watch AD and LeBron for the
I mean, no,
what is
I'm
it
just
seventh season in
I,
a row.
I would say that I'm more intrigued with the Lakers this year than excited to watch.
All right, we'll put it with the nothing else on then. All right, we'll leave it for
That's
there
fair.
for now. All right, Grizzlies, they're going to be
Most
their
nights.
team I lean most nights for because I think again they could lean on that must see TV era or area with Ja and especially if they are as good as they were 2 and 3 seasons ago. So I think is there really much to argue
yeah,
with
similar
that?
similar to the Cavs
For
for me.
sure.
Like they're just going to be a good basketball team. They just play good basketball most nights for me.
Yep.
Heat are hard to watch. Yeah, 100%.
The Heat are
Yeah,
not like even if they're winning, they're not a fun team to
exactly.
watch. Like
Yeah,
I
they are a
Not at
like
all.
grinded out team. Yeah,
Bam is a
they're
great
not
player.
exciting.
I do not enjoy watching Bam play basketball.
No.
On the defensive side, I will, but I'm not going to tune into a Heat game every night just so I can watch Bam Adebayo, navigate through screens better than any other big man in the league. Like
Yeah,
the Bucks,
absolutely.
the Bucks could end up being must-see TV. Like genuinely, I think a super slept-on team. I think Dame is gonna not play like whatever that was last season.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
guys
Yeah,
feeling the must-see
yeah. The
TV?
combination of Dame and
I'd
Giannis
say
could
must
definitely be
see.
must
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I think that's fair.
It really depends on if Doc doesn't fuck them.
Well, they have Doc and Darvingham to help them now if they're struggling.
Elite, lethal
Oh,
duo, lethal duo right there.
Timberwolves, again, a team that got shaken up. I still think, again, because of Anthony Edwards, I think watching
mm,
how their new two guys are going to fit in, having Nas Reed.
I think
Yeah,
I'd say
for
must
you,
see
I get it.
TV.
Yeah, I would maybe lean most nights. I don't think they're on the same tier as those other four teams as
Yeah,
far as how much I
I
want
can
to
get
watch them.
that.
Because they are a defensive oriented team, which I don't mind, but like just not as entertaining. But yeah, definitely for the start of the season, I'll be tuning into as many Timberwolves
Yeah,
games in a row as I
I
can.
think most nights is good. I just think we should
Yeah,
save the elites for must-see TV.
right, right.
The Pelicans, again, this is for me, a team that is 100% most nights. I know Dion is going to completely disagree.
I mean, I'm
So,
interested to see them play. As much as I
Uh,
don't really have faith in them doing well this season and finishing high in the standings, them starting Herb Jones at center is going to be very intriguing. Like most nights, I will be interested to
I
see what it
forgot
looks like
about
from the
that.
Pelicans.
that's
Yeah, so they will be intriguing to watch most nights, I think.
Danny, you got any thoughts on Nola?
Uh, I would have said nothing else on, but of course, a healthy Zion, raises my interest a little bit. So yeah, you can go. You can go most nights here.
All right, word.
I think they're on the
Th-
brink though.
All right, well, back to back. Let's just get rid of it.
Yep.
In
Send
case
them
you
to the
didn't
top.
know, I'm a Knicks fan. He's a Thunder
Thunder fan.
fan.
There you go.
Celtics fan. Hence why those are now in our favorite teams tier because we are going to be extremely biased, obviously, when talking about them. So we're not going
Yeah,
to talk
this
about
is a
them.
completely subjective ranking of how much just we want to watch them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the Orlando Magic. I don't love watching the Magic. I know you guys absolutely
Yeah.
gush over Paolo. I'm not the biggest Paolo guy. I'm not as in not saying he's a great player, but
They're
as
kind
in
of like they're just like a slightly more enjoyable version to watch than the Heat. Like they just grind out games with their defense, very low
yeah,
scoring games.
like
But
they have
it is
again.
less of a drag than Miami because Miami's
It's
just pulling
like
random dudes out of nowhere
yeah,
half the
because it's
season.
like it's the defense mixed with at least they have Franz and Paolo to give you
Yeah,
Yeah,
some scoring
exactly.
punch.
Exactly.
I was gonna say they might be able to polish their offense a little bit more this year than it was last year. So I personally feel like I would watch them more than just nothing else being on. I think that they'd be entertaining.
So the Sixers are next. I think right here they start honestly like maybe up here, but then by like mid to late February slash March they're gonna be down here because they're
Yeah,
gonna be
When Joel gets
starting.
hurt.
Their
I
starting lineup
honestly
is
think
gonna be
like
Jared McCain, Ricky Council, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, and Andre Drummond. So
I honestly, yeah, I don't really enjoy watching Embiid play
I
very
hate
much.
it.
Like I'm sure we're all in agreement there. So I would put him in nothing else on because they are still a good team that plays good basketball, and obviously the Paul George and all the other additions is gonna be interesting. So early on, yeah, but like middle of February, it's kind of just like it's a nothing else
Who
on.
knows?
I'm
Maybe Embiid stays healthy with his no back-to-backs thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
Probably
we'll see.
not,
We'll
but
see.
who knows?
We'll
The
see.
Suns for me with Tyus. I think this is a must-see TV one with
Yeah, I would
having.
say must
Because
see
of
TV.
Tyus Jones,
I mean,
I want to see Tyus
that's
throwing the ball to Kevin
they
Durant and
got
Devin
they
Booker in
got
their
two of the top
spots.
10 players in the league, and you're like, yeah, but Tyus Jones.
No, because they
he
already
does
have
open up that
two.
offense a
They
lot
already
more,
have
though.
two arguably top 10 players in the league, and now you're actually having a point guard, so I don't have
No,
to watch
yeah,
Bradley
I
Beal
get
and
you.
Devin Booker bring the ball
Yeah,
up the court every time.
Yeah,
Tyus definitely
I
opens up
think
the
they're most
offense.
nights. There's gonna be
Most
nights, yeah, Beal hijacks it and it's like not great, but yeah, I think this is be one of the more entertaining teams.
All
I
right, we'll
say must see
go.
TV.
We'll go. I'm gonna lean must. We're
Okay,
gonna over the 2-1 majority is
all good.
going to
It's
All
overrule
Kevin
good.
you.
Durant
So
and Devin Booker, and the offense is just going to be so much more open this year,
it
just
is
due to
gonna
the
be
fact
tough
that
on nights where they
they're not going to have to
play.
bring up the ball.
It'll be tough on nights where they play teams like the Thunder or the Pacers, where Nurkic has to actually step out and guard centers that can pull the ball to the perimeter. So those
Hmm.
nights,
Yeah.
I definitely think that's gonna be that's a
Well,
most nights case
could make
scenario.
them fun to watch as well.
Yeah. So the Blazers, they're kind of just like a slew of young talent with things figuring it out. I feel like nothing
Yeah,
else on.
they're not unwatchable. I definitely wouldn't put them like at the bottom, but I think it could be kind of tough. They had the league's worst offense
It's,
last year. Should
yeah,
be a
I'd say
little bit
hard to
better this year,
watch.
but I would put them hard to watch.
All right,
They're
we'll
Yeah,
go hard to
agreed.
watch. And Chauncey Billups' coaching masterclass will be on full
exactly.
display.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Kings, for me, I don't love watching the Kings. I really am not. To me, watching the Kings is like watching Jokic, and like Sabonis is like Jokic in like slow motion
Hmm.
and just like not as fun. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
he's like the evolved down Pokemon version of
yeah.
Jokic.
Yeah.
And you have Şengün who's about to pass him. I digress. I think maybe
Yeah, I think
nothing else
nothing else on.
on.
They'll be
I'd say
interesting, like
nothing
the
else
DeMar
on.
edition for like the first week or two, see how it goes.
Again, like
But
I'm not even like
yeah, I was
I
a
feel like
big
we
I was a big Kings guy like the first Light the Beam season, but
that
now
was
it's kind
fun,
of
but they weren't
yeah,
the same
they're just
last
kind of
year.
mediocre on both ends of the
They'll
floor
be
now.
cool. It doesn't mean that they won't be good. It's just
Yeah,
I'm kind
they're
of
just
bored with the Kings,
yeah, they're
I
kind of just the
guess,
middle of the pack, middle of the
in a
road kind of
sense.
team right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, well, we have the San Antonio Spurs. I feel like they have the one player that does make them
Yep.
must-see
exactly. Yeah,
TV.
absolutely
Yep.
must be TV. I
Yep.
want give me as much Wemby as possible. Yeah.
Adding CP3 helps to it too,
This is
because you're
my
going to see so many
controversial take.
lobs.
I feel like you guys might be actually here with me in
This was the
agreement,
hardest one
though.
for me to decide on, actually. I
I
definitely
have the
Not
Raptors,
me.
I think, in most nights.
Yep, I agree.
make the case. Make the case.
So let's see. No, the Raptors are not going to be the best team in the East. No, they're not going to even be a top 6 seed in the East. Could they be a top 8 seed? I think so. No, it's not
Maybe.
likely. It would take everything to go right, but at the very least, you have 3 borderline all-star level players or players that could reach that level that you have all developing together, and they're a very fun group. Emmanuel Quickly is a fun player to watch. Scotty Barnes is someone that does everything on a basketball court. RJ was fantastic to watch after he got to Toronto and made that transition. He was really good with Canada this summer, so he's a guy, and or this whole team really. Then Grady Dick, they have a lot of fun internal development that I'm looking forward to watching, and it's not just because they have the talent. Their young players that they have are genuinely fun players to watch. So for me, it's a most nights.
You sold me. You sold me. And if Mitch was
Nate,
here, he'd obviously be campaigning. He'd be in the favorite team here. So I
they'd
think
probably
this.
be in the favorite teams because we can't even talk about them.
Yeah.
Nah, Nate, I 100% agree with you here. We made a Instagram short about that the 10 seed, 10 and 9, 9 and 10 seed in the East were wide open, and I said in that video that I thought that the Raptors are my favorite team of the bunch that could definitely make it, and that is because of all of the internal development that's going to happen between IQ, RJ, Grady Dick, all those guys. So I think that they're a most nights kind of
You
team.
just sneak the Wizards on there. Like we're not even
So
going to talk
I've gone
about them.
ahead and I've moved the Wizards into the notes here.
Yeah, no, that's
I
totally
think
fair.
this is pretty self-explanatory, unless you enjoy watching Jordan Poole take 20
Yeah,
shots a
I'd
night.
basically make the same case that I made for the Nets. It's like very, very slight, very like peripheral things that I'm interested in with
Yeah.
this
What if
team.
you're an Alexandre Sarr fan?
Then it's still
I
nothing
feel
else on
bad.
probably.
Something's wrong with you. You got to go
just
get you.
went straight faced.
You need to get a mental evaluation if your favorite basketball player is Alexander Sarr.
Hey, it could just be French. I'm gonna say Jazz are in the hard to watch
Hard to
tier.
Yeah.
They're
watch.
not as bad. Like the Nets and the Wizards to me are like so far and away the worst
No,
teams in the NBA right
Ugh.
now. The Jazz are at least like a tier above that. Like Lauri Markkanen is
Yeah.
also
yeah,
a talent.
the
They got
Jazz
some
will
young
give you a
guys.
few fun competitive games against
Yeah.
some good teams. I don't see the Wizards or
They're
Nets
just in
ever
such a
doing that.
stalemate. They're just so
So
stuck.
stuck. Yeah,
The
exactly.
Jazz.
Yeah. Well, look at that though. We got a pretty even
Yeah, I think
distribution. I
this
think
is a
that
pretty
makes
good
Yeah.
total sense
distribution.
the way it kind of shook out.
Are we looking at like nothing sticks out to me as be needing to being moved other than that. And honestly, I don't know, other than maybe the Timberwolves, the must see TV, which I know you guys didn't
Yeah.
really like. So
Yeah, there's it's
Later, I
slightly
think the
different. Like,
Grizzlies could be. The Grizzlies could be later in the season.
yeah, this I think will change as the season goes on and we see how these teams actually perform. But a lot of it has to do with just like early season interest, like roster changes, that sort of thing. But yeah, I think this is pretty good, fellas. I think we did a good job here.
yeah, so I guess that is going to do it for this video. A little bit of a tier ranking here as we get ready for the NBA season. Finally, we're actually going to be able to watch all these teams in meaningful games and not seeing Dante DiVincenzo and Rick Brunson as our biggest headline of the day fighting in a preseason game. That's going to do it, though. We hope you guys did enjoy this. Make sure to check out all of our socials, our Instagram, our Twitter, all 2 for 1 hoops. We'll link that in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.